In this video, I'm going to show you guys 2 Avengers keys I recently picked up, which brings me halfway through my Avengers Grail run. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, I got 2 Avengers books that I recently acquired for myself that I get to check off my Grail run list. And actually getting these 2 in my collection brings me to the halfway point for the run. You know, I'm going from 1 to 100. So in this video, we're going to kind of check in on the Grail run, see where I'm at. I'm going to kind of talk about what other books that I still need to sort of pick up. And of course, I'm going to show you guys these 2 books right here. But before I get into the video, if you guys could drop me a like or comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel, do one of those things, I would appreciate it. And also, before I show off the books, we do have to shout out the sponsor of this video, MySlabs.com. Now, if you haven't heard of MySlabs.com, they are an online marketplace that specializes in graded collectibles. As you can see, they do a lot in the sports card world, but they also do graded comic books. And one of the best things about this particular website, MySlabs.com, is that they have 1% fees from sellers. You can see right there at the top, which gives sellers a better opportunity to make more money on the sales that they make, and also presumably gives buyers better deals overall. So definitely go check out MySlabs.com. I'm going to play this little commercial so you guys can get a better sense of who they are, and then I'll see you on the other side.
Tired of paying 10%, 15% or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
The guy's face in that commercial gets me every time. He is so happy about those 1% fees for sellers. And I totally understand that because, you know, some of these eBay fees are absolutely crazy right now. And I've been, you know, perusing MySlabs quite a bit, especially for my Avengers Grail run. You know, for me, I definitely am trying to find some of these keys. And I did kind of put some qualifiers that I wasn't going to buy them off of eBay. So I'm very open-minded to the idea of picking them up on MySlabs.com. So definitely go check it out and see if it's a marketplace for you. But let's get into the video here today, because I do have 2 Avengers keys that I'm going to show off. Very excited to get these ones off the list because these are keys that, you know, have a lot of, you know, speculative value concerned with them as far as, like, you know, what their significance is. And so these are books that I was a little bit worried that, you know, might get really hot very soon, but I didn't want to overextend, you know, to pick them up. I didn't want to like overpay or whatever. So I was still kind of being patient, letting them come to me, the right book, the right deal. And finally, I went to one of my favorite comic shops here in Southern California. Was digging through those bins, and they did have very competitive prices for these books, so I did decide to pull the trigger. So this first one I got right here is a very cool one. This is Avengers number 21, and what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of Power Man, the Eric Johnston character, or John Stone character of the Power Man. You know, Power Man eventually becomes Goliath, and then eventually becomes Atlas, who is actually one of the members of the Thunderbolts team. So, you know, this is an interesting character overall for me. You know, I know a little bit about Eric Johnston, the Power Man, right here when he makes his first appearance. He's definitely had a long history in Marvel comic books. He's never kind of like become that sort of quintessential villain in any kind of way, but he's had a long historic run with regards to Marvel Comics. So, you know, I'm someone who still believes that we're going to be getting the Thunderbolts in the MCU in some kind of way. I'm not necessarily sure that we're going to get the original team, but I do feel like those particular books that are associated with the Thunderbolts team could get very hot. So for that reason, this was one of those books that, like, you know, I didn't want to have to pay spec value prices for this thing. Like, this is one that if it ever got hot that we were going to get Atlas, you know, in the MCU, then, you know, I was really worried that I was going to have to pay like 3 figures for this book. Luckily, I was able to find a VG copy. Maybe it's a VG minus 3.5 or so for this one. $20, not a bad deal. This is a book that I've come across maybe twice before, but when it was being sold, one of them had the cover detached. I don't want to own books that have covers detached. And then two, it was also, I think one of the other prices I saw was like being sold at 50. And for me, 50, I was like, that's a little too high for what I wanted to get. So I'm glad I have this one. That one actually puts me at number 50. And then this one right here will put me at number 51 of 100. So I am actually halfway done. This is at the halfway mark, and I think I'm doing pretty well overall because I also get to scratch this one off the list. And this one right here is Avengers number 59, first appearance of Yellow Jacket. Now, of course, Yellow Jacket is Hank Pym. Hank Pym abandoned his Ant-Man persona, or his Giant Man persona, I guess, at the time in which he abandoned it. He had created Ultron, he got in his own head, and then he became the Yellow Jacket version of the character. Now, we already have Yellow Jacket in the MCU. You guys would know the Darren Cross version that we got in Ant-Man #1. And one of the interesting things about that is that, at the end of that movie, Darren Cross, shrinks down into the quantum realm, and then he's just gone. He's vanished. But we didn't actually see him get killed. And there's been a lot of rumors right now that we're going to be getting Darren Cross back into Ant-Man #3 because they're obviously going to revisit the quantum realm. So we're probably going to come across a Yellow Jacket again. And so for that reason, this was another book that I sort of felt like had a timer on it as far as its speculative value was concerned. Whereas once we start to get those rumors or trailers or images for Ant-Man 3, this was going to be a book that shoots up. Now, I know that Darren Cross Yellow Jacket is not necessarily the same as Hank Pym Yellow Jacket. You tend to see, at least as far as the trends that I've been able to follow with touch points to the MCU, is that this book will also go up, even though it's not associated with the one that we're seeing on screen. Which is really funny overall, because I feel like that is true of characters like Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Even though we have Hope Van Dyne and we have Scott Lang as our Ant-Man and Wasp, those TTA books are still really desirable in the market, even though they're the Michelle Pfeiffer character and the Michael Douglas character. But this one I got, it's about a fine. That's what it's graded at. I got it for $45, pretty good price overall. And now we got to kind of check in on my, Grail run right now. And I kind of want to show you guys where I'm at with everything. So let's kind of get into my CLZ app right here. You can see this is my Avengers collection right now. So I think overall I'm doing pretty good. I got some of the big books right here. I got Avengers #1. I got Avengers #2. Shout out to Dan De La Torre. I got Avengers #4, which of course is a great book. First Cap in the Silver Age, one of my personal favorites. I got the Kang the Conqueror books, which have absolutely gone crazy, including #10 and #11. So, I'll kind of scroll down here and you guys can pause and take a look if you're curious to see what Avengers books I already have now in my collection. So I got some good stuff here overall. Good stuff overall. Very, very happy to have these books on the list. So let's talk about really quickly, what are my next couple targets? Because these are the ones that I'm the most sort of concerned with, right? There's a lot of run fillers that I feel like I will eventually find them, but we got to get our hands on the keys, right? We got to get our hands on the keys. So here are the books that I've sort of identified now as being on my list, important ones that I need to check off before they get too hot or before they take that next jump in the market. So starting off here, we have Avengers #3. This is just an early Avengers book. One of the things I do have as far as a flag is concerned with this book is that it does have a Submariner appearance in it, right? I'm not actually sure if this is the first time that Submariner meets the Avengers, but it could very well be. And if that is the case, you know how this market behaves. Everybody's like, oh, it's the first time Submariner meets the Avengers, and therefore it's a key, and it feels like we're going to get Submariner soon. So that's definitely one that's on my mind as far as a book that I need to get my hands on. So we'll see if I can find that. This one right here, Avengers #5, this is a book that I've passed over. I saw this one for $60 a couple months back, and I passed over it, and I actually really regret it because ever since then, I've only seen this book being sold around $180, $200, things like that. So I think that's probably the price I'm going to have to pay eventually, but because it's just an early Avengers. But I do, I'm hopeful that it's not going to go much higher than that in the near future. Although, funny story about this one is that, the Lava Men, which you see right there, the first appearance of the Lava Men, they actually have a connection to the High Evolutionary. I actually think the Lava Men are working in Wondergore Mountain. I could be wrong about that, but I do think that there actually is some connection to the High Evolutionary. And who knows, man, if we get High Evolutionary in the MCU, in, Guardians 3, people start to, they start to connect those dots and they start to, spec on things like Lava Men. So this one is one that, I got a little bit of a flag for. All right, the next book that, of course, we all know this one that we got to talk about. This is Avengers number 48. This is going to be, I would say, the hardest book for me to find at the right deal. Again, because I want to do all my acquisitions through some kind of personal relationship or just, AKA, just not on eBay. So this is going to be one that will be hard to get my hands on. We all know that Kit Harington is going to be playing Black Knight. We have the Eternals movie. There's been rumors about that. We have the Easter eggs, but we haven't seen him in his armored costume yet. So I feel like this book still has room to grow until we see him in his armored costume. But this one is a big one for me. This is one that I definitely am thinking I need to figure out a way to make a move for this one. But luckily, after I had my claim sale, I saved up a little bit of budget. So I have room to make a move for this one when I do find it. So that one is something that I'm thinking about. This one right here, Avengers number 53. I think that this is an interesting book because it is Avengers versus X-Men. I don't believe it's the first time these two teams met. I think that one actually happens in the X-Men run. But, when we get X-Men in the MCU, people value these types of things. So this is one that, I definitely have flagged for myself. And then this one here, to me, I'm not going to say that this is more important to acquire than the Black Knight book, but I will say that I actually think that this one right now is a great opportunity for me personally. I feel like the Black Knight book is probably not going to dip too much more. In fact, it's actually just going to continue to probably go up. This one right here actually has dipped pretty hard when we're comparing it to where it was at the height of WandaVision. So this one feels like it is a good opportunity. And on top of that, it's going to happen that we're going to get Vision back in the MCU at some point in time. We're definitely going to get White Vision back. I'm sure West Coast Avengers number 45 or whatever it is going to spike up again. But this one right here will also spike. I'm sure they're going to figure out some way to bring Vision back to his normal form, not to the White Vision form. So I think that this book will take another spike in the market. But right now it feels like the waters are pretty cool. So this is one that I'm very much keeping an eye out for. I'm very much looking for the right grade for myself. This is another one that I passed up on. I came across this one for $40. Probably should have pulled the trigger when I did find it, but I'm still hopeful that this one will find me at some point. Again, another book, like the reasons I stated with the previous one, second appearance of Vision will definitely take another spike in the market. And then this one here I have kind of as an interesting one. I think that this could get somewhat hot later on when we get Black Panther 2 next year. This right here says it's the origin of T'Challa, which is funny because Black Panther or Fantastic Four number 53 is noted as the origin of Black Panther. So I'm not really sure how that fits into this one, but I think because it's a Black Panther on the cover and it's his origin, I think that this is a book that has the potential to get hot. So one that I'm keeping my eye out for. Well, that is all I have for this video. That was me kind of, showing off these two new acquisitions I got for my Avengers run. I got Avengers number 59 and Avengers number 21. Two great books in my opinion. I'm getting pretty close with my Grail run. We are halfway there. It's been a process of about, I think, 8 or 9 months now. So who knows when I'm going to finish this thing. You guys can see the keys I still am aiming to pick up. Need to get that Black Knight, need to get that Vision. I think those are the two that I'm really, really keeping my eye out for. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think I should target next as far as a book? What do you guys think is the best one I should be chasing right now? Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you in the next video.